All right, so welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash. We have another powerful episode for you. We have the king of client attraction, $250 million in sales for his clients, Mr. Marquel Russell. What's up, brother?
What's up, my guy?
How you doing, man? Appreciate you.
Bro.
No, thank you. So I was first introduced to your work. Fat shout out to Denise, the broker. She first introduced me to your work. And then once she introduced me, I started seeing you, dropping so much game around how to attract clientele and, how to get people to buy your services, high ticket items and all that good stuff. And I even took, some of your Facebook, classes. And so before we get there, right, because now, you've helped clients make over $250 million. That's like no small feat. That's $250 million.
Right, absolutely.
Let's just say that, right? $250 million, right?
For sure.
We ain't gonna even say 250 million no more. $250 million.
100%.
But before we get there, for those who don't know, who is Marquel Russell?
For sure. First off, I want to give you your flowers, bro, because the work you're doing for the culture is amazing, bro. So I appreciate you for having me here. So just the abridged version, right? So I stumbled across all this by mistake, I think. I don't really believe in mistakes, but I think it was crazy. So I dropped out of high school in 10th grade. I got a 9th grade education, got a GED, for what it's worth. And because where I'm from, everybody wanted to grow up and get a job working for the city. That's like the ideal job. But everybody who I knew who was doing that was broke. But I wanted to grow up and be rich because everybody who was telling me go to school, all this good stuff, they couldn't even give me $5 for the candy lady. So I'm like, nah, that ain't gonna work. Because my cousins who was getting money, who would give me 5 or 10 or 20 for the candy lady, they were selling drugs. So obviously I went that particular direction. So dropped out in 10th grade, went full-time in the streets, kind of went through that whole process. And then when I turned 19, I was actually locked up on my 19th birthday and I had my first son on my 19th birthday, which is interesting. So I was like, you know what? When I get out, I'm gonna do this job thing. I'm gonna try this job thing out because I never tried the job thing. My dad wasn't around growing up. And the path I was going down, I was like, all right, I'm gonna end up being absent in my kid's life as well. So I got out, got a job. A buddy of mine got me a job at Petro on Bankhead. Somebody familiar with Atlanta, they know what Petro is right when you get off Bankhead. So I was covered in oil every day, changing oil and tire on these big trucks. And I was like, this ain't gonna work. And the thing that really said, you know what, I'm cool on this, I took my son to the fair and we had to budget at the fair. I'm like, well, we can't do that because I only got this little check. So I was like, that ain't gonna work. So I went back into the streets, but I took the money I was making this time and started an entertainment company. In Atlanta, that's what you do. You get money and then you start a record label or you rap, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I ain't rap, so I knew people who rap, I knew people who did beats, so I brought them together, we started a label. So I started doing artist management, club promotions and things of that nature. And one night I'm in the club and a guy walks up to me. He thought I was somebody else. We were familiar with each other, but he was like, hey, bro, how many people you know got a cell phone? And I was like, well, everybody I know got a cell phone. And he was like, what if every time they got paid, you got paid? And I was like, that'll be dope. So he was like, one of my millionaire mentors gonna be in town this week. They're looking to expand in the area, so they're looking for some other leaders who wanna expand. So I'm like, bet. Yeah. So I went out there, I took my bro with me, because we didn't really know what was getting into it. I'm like, we in the streets then. So it's like, you just like, okay, what does it do? Is this a setup? Like, what's going on? Like, my bro, he got distracted. He like, where we going, bro? I'm like, I don't know. But it seemed like they ain't really into all that. So I think it's legit. So we went, they did this presentation. There was like this new video phone technology is coming out, and you can join. All you gotta do is get 2 people, and then they'll get 2 people, and they'll get 2 people. It seemed like you done heard this picture before. Right. So they're like, all you gotta do is get 2 people. I'm like, bet, I'm in. Yeah. Y'all take cash? And it was like, well, no, you gotta have a card. And I'm like, man, I don't got no accounts or none of that. That ain't gonna work. Right. So they showed me how to get a prepaid card. So I got a prepaid card. About 3 days later, jumped in. All my people, because I'm like, I'm from the city, I'm in the city, I'm active, everybody know me. So I'm like, it's easy to get 2 people, because I know everybody. So I start showing it to my people. I'm like, this is the lick. Right. But everybody was like, bro, that's a pyramid scheme. What these folks done got you into, you tripping, I'm good, I ain't going to no meetings. So I'm like, man, y'all knew about this already, and ain't nobody ever tell me. Yeah. But I showed it to my mom, because my mom always been a hustler. So I'm like, if it was some game, she was gonna see it. So she watched it, she hit me back, and she was like, if you market yourself, it can work. So that was like my little mustard seed of faith, right? So I stuck with it, but everybody told me I was crazy. And then, but the guys who signed me up, I'm thinking they got me for the 500. So I was like, you know what? I'm cool. It was 500. I done lost more than that. So I was like, I'm just gonna take it back to what I know. But these cats were still reaching out to me, trying to help me. And where I'm from, like, cats ain't trying to help you make no money.
Right.
So I'm like, this is crazy. So they invited me to a conference that was happening here in Atlanta. Went to the conference. It's like 4,000 people in there, excited, saying they're making money. Majority black folks, everybody positive. I'd never been in an environment like that before. And I don't know what happened at that event, but I came out the event and I was like, okay, I might be on to something. So whatever happened, I got some people to sign up finally, but it plateaued. I ran out of people to talk to. And then when I was doing was I was network marketing. So, but they don't really teach you how to market. They just teach you how to go out and talk to people who you know, your friends and family, talk to strangers who come within 3 feet of you, all that. And somebody on my team sent me a link that said, hey, we can build this business without going to home parties, without talking to strangers. And at this time, I'm super introvert because kind of the world I came from. Right. So I'm like, bet. So I read this sales letter. I watched this 4-part video series, read this sales letter about 50 times, finally bought it. It was a $39 ebook. My first time ever buying something online. So I bought the book, and then it took me through the upsells and the upsells. And I'm like, man, you telling me these folks just gonna give out all the game in a course? Right. And all I gotta do is pay $297 I'm like, this is crazy. Right. So I'm in, so I'm buying everything, right? So then that introduced me to direct response marketing. And I was just fascinated about how this whole thing worked. And I literally went through all my money, buying courses, buying trainings, went through all my savings, because I cut off the streets at that point because I had got locked up for a warrant. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go all in with this legit thing and just get the most out of it, just like I went all in with the streets. So blew through all my money. My lady at the time, who's my wife now, she actually was paying the bills and all that while I was freaking this stuff out. And one of these cats I bought a course on, he was like, dude, just pick one thing. Don't try to master everything, just pick one. And that's when I got into content creation. So I started creating a piece of content every day, started building the brand, and I was just teaching what I was learning. And then fast forward, bro, people started reaching out, asking me like, what you doing? How are you doing it? Can we pay you to teach us? And I'm like, can I pay you to teach? Right. Like, what do you mean? It was like, can you coach me? I'm like, what do you mean? Right. So I found out that coaching is a thing and people pay you for coaching. So I'm like, this is crazy. So I was like, you know what? What I got really good at was attracting clients because we built the successful coaching business. That's how we got to the initial like 6 figures. And people want to know how we did it. So we started teaching that whole process, right? And then fast forward, man, that's kind of how we just said, you know what? I'm cutting off the network marketing thing. I'm cutting off everything else. Just going to go all in on building our own thing, which became Client Attraction University. And we just said we're going to plant our flag with this because 8 out of 10 businesses go out of business within about 18 months simply because they don't know how to get clients on a consistent basis. Yeah. So I was like, if we can solve that problem for a ton of people, we may be on to something. You know, $250 million later for clients, I'm here having a conversation with the Ash Cats. You know what I'm saying?
Man, powerful. And I love that story. I mean, first of all, I love the story because of the transformation, right? Of, being someone who, was in the streets and, realized that you want to make a change and made the decision to make that change. And that decision has paid dividends for you, right?
Sure, 100%.
And so what was the feeling? Because you said 6-figure business, right? When you hit that, when you started and the first time you hit 6 figures, like what was that feeling like?
Man, so here's the crazy thing, man, is I'm always like, and I always tell our clients to be very conscious of this because how I am, I'm always focused on the next goal. Yeah. So it's like when I hit my first 5-figure month, we did like $13,430.83, right? I know it down to the penny. Yeah. But I didn't even realize it until I'm well into the next month because I'm focused on the next goal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think once I realized it, I was like, you know what? I guess my biggest feeling was that this wasn't as hard as I thought it was gonna be. And if I can make 5 figures in a month, I can make 5 figures in a day. I can make, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm like, let's continue to lean in.
Yeah. And so, for a lot of people out here have businesses, are trying to, get their businesses out there. What is the biggest mistake you would say, right? As the king of client attraction, what is the biggest mistake you would say that most people do, in their business that doesn't allow them to, reach the people that they want to reach?
I think the biggest thing is like they try to serve everybody. So people will say like, okay, my product can serve everybody. Yes. And I think that's the biggest mistake that they make is like, all right, this is great. So like, for example, let's say they're a personal trainer. they're good at personal training. But they're like, well, anybody can stand to lose some weight, so everybody's my market. And that ain't true. Right. It's like you can really niche down. You can help men get in shape. You can help women get in shape. You can help new moms. You can help brothers who work 9 to 5, entrepreneurs. It's like so many ways. But I think the biggest thing is like they have this mentality like, okay, if I niche down, I'm gonna leave money on the table and I'm gonna leave people out. But in reality, if you don't niche down, you're gonna leave money on the table and you're gonna leave people out.
Yeah, because the riches are in the niches.
100%.
And so, you know, now you've built this business. You're helping clients, attract clients, and you're telling people, to niche down. How important is it for people to invest in themselves? Because I see a lot of times people are starting these businesses, people are calling themselves entrepreneurs, but they're trying to either do it on their own, they're trying to do it cost effective, right? But how important is investing in yourself as a business
I think investing in yourself is everything. So it's like, so think about it. It's like we can go from here. So like, for example, I went from my house to here. I'm familiar with the area, so I can get here without a GPS.
Yeah.
But imagine if I'm going from my house to your house, for example. I ain't never been there before. So it's like, yeah, I can figure it out, but it's gonna take me longer. Or I can just use the GPS and get there way faster. Right. So if you value time, you get with somebody who's like been there before. So they know like, oh, you're gonna avoid that landmine. Don't do this, don't do that. Just go this straight path. So it's everything. And if you're an entrepreneur, you gotta create a certain type of energy. You know what I'm saying? So if you create an energy of lack, or you create an energy of never wanting to invest into yourself, you create an energy of always trying to keep it close to the chest, you're gonna attract people who don't wanna spend no money. You're gonna attract people who wanna pay the least amount. You're gonna attract people who don't wanna commit. You're gonna attract people who always gotta pray about it before they make the investment, because you always gotta pray about it. You are always trying to get a discount. So you're gonna attract those people, so it's absolutely everything.
Wait, no. You're not gonna bother away me with that one. No, we're not gonna bother away that one. So you're saying that the energy in which you approach your business is the energy in which you'll get your clientele.
100%.
Talk to me.
So we call it the mirror effect.
Yes.
So it's like whatever you put out, that's what you're gonna attract.
Yes.
So for example, a lot of people, so I'm gonna give you a prime example.
Yes.
People come to us and they like, look, I want to attract more clients who are willing to pay me, our premium prices.
Yes.
And we're like, all right, bet. So we say, okay, cool, we can definitely help with that after we kind of go through a process. Cool, so here's what that looks like for us to work together. And they like, I need to pray about it, or I need to talk to somebody about it, or anything but let's do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I just say, okay, I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
However, is this typically what you hear from your clients? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, you attract. It's like sowing and reaping. Whatever you put out, you're gonna attract. So if you want clients who are willing to pay a premium price, you gotta be a client who pays a premium price. If you want people who are committed, you gotta be committed.
Yes.
If you want clients who are gonna actually implement to get results, you gotta be a client that implement and get results.
Yes.
You feel me? Because you're gonna attract who you are.
Yeah. Hey, peace and blessings, family. It's Ash Cash. If you're an entrepreneur, coach, or service provider, nothing can boost your business and credibility like the instant authority of being a published author. I am a former 15-year banking executive, and it wasn't until I wrote my first book that I started to see a boost in my business. Now, I've been an author for over 10 years. I've sold over 70,000 books, all independently. I have 4 bestsellers, and my books have been featured on every major media outlet you could think of, all without hiring a publicist. I've coached hundreds of self-published authors on how to write, market, and sell their books the right way, and I have many authors that I've helped become bestsellers, and even helped some make 5 figures before they even launch their book. I've been getting a lot of requests lately for book coaching since I revealed that one of my clients, Julian Gordon, made $111,000 in 2 months pre-launch on his new book. So I created this new program that is breaking down everything that you need to write, publish your book in 90 days or less, and also all the secrets on how to sell massive books as a self-published author. So go to incomefrombooks.com for more information, and for a limited time, you'll get 40% off the normal price, and you don't even need a discount code. I promise you, it's a worthwhile investment. You have a story that the world needs to hear, so let me help you build your impact and your income. Good people need to do good. So let me help you. I'll see you on the other side. Incomefrombooks.com. We inside the vault, so I want all this smoke, right? That mindset, where'd that come from? How did you, where did you get this, revelation? Like, where does that mindset come from?
I think it just came through the process, because like for me, I did it the hard way.
Yeah.
So I was like downloading all the free stuff all the free reports.
Yes.
The reports that just take up space on your hard drive. You never even read them.
Yeah.
I was buying the courses, signing up for membership sites, getting on the free webinar every night, and I used to be like, look, I'm working. I used to think I'm working because I'm watching the free webinar. I was going through all the free stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that, dang, I could have just hired a coach from the gate who could just help me go through this whole process, because now I understand that money, because some people say time is money.
Yeah.
But in reality, money is more valuable than, time is more valuable than money.
Yeah.
So you spend money to buy time. But most people rather invest their time and save money.
Right.
I'm like, look, how can I pay you to save me time?
Yes.
Because I got somewhere to be and I want to get there as fast as possible. It's like we can go from here to Cali.
Right.
We can get there on a horse.
Yep.
We can get there on a bike.
Yeah.
You can walk.
Yeah.
You can drive a car. A lot of different ways to get there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or you can just go to Hartsville and catch a flight and be there in a couple hours.
Right.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Me, I just want to get the jet, man, and get there fast as possible without having to go through all the hoopla.
Right. Wow. No, I love that. And I wanted to bring that back because, again, Inside the Vault is all about mindset.
For sure.
And I don't think people give mindset as much credit as they should.
Agreed.
Right? I think that people think, get out of my face with all this, attraction thing, this law of attraction and all this other stuff. And then for you, it's like, no, this is the reason why you're attracting the customers, because you're not willing, right? What you give, what you get, right?
100%.
And so talk to me about that, right? About personal development, being somebody from the streets and having that transition into business. How vital was personal development in your life and in your transition?
Bro, it's everything. I tell people, I'm glad this in my bag, bro. It's I could talk about this all day. So it's I tell people all the time, business is 90% mental. It's only 10% what to say, how to run the ads. That's only 10%.
Right.
Because I can give you all that.
Yeah.
But if you don't got the mental, you ain't gonna go implement it anyway. Most times you already know what to do.
Yes.
But your mental won't let you do it. So it's 90% the mental game. And one of the ways that I learned this, one of my mentors told me early on, and when I did network marketing, I didn't make a ton of money in network marketing, but the biggest thing I got from network marketing is the personal development, right? One of my mentors used to always say, network marketing is a personal development course with a compensation plan. So you can grow.
Yeah.
That's why I was introduced to personal development. That's why I was introduced to Jim Rohn and Les Brown and these cats. And one of my mentors asked me, he was like, Marquel, if you could have everything you wanted in life, thinking the way you think, having the habits you have, wouldn't you already have it? So, and I was like, man, I could have been offended by it, but I wasn't. I was hungry. So I was like, that makes sense. And then I heard Jim Rohn say, you got to work harder on yourself than you do on your job or your business. I use the word business, right? Yeah. So I think it's everything. That's the thing that gets you the edge, how you think. So some people ask me, Marquel, what's the difference in you charging $3,000 for somebody charging $3,000 for that offer and somebody charging $10,000 for that offer? And I always tell them it's the 6 inches. It's the 6 inches between their ears. That's it. Because I got a client who I was talking to yesterday. She started working when she was charging $3,000. Yeah. She started doing $30,000, $40,000 a month. She increased it to $5,000. And I'm like, have you seen any drop in conversions? She was like, nope. Yeah. I was like, I told you that from day one. Yeah. You're the only person that cares about your price. The other person don't care about your price. They only care about the results. So it's everything.
And so how do you get to that space though, right? Because there's somebody right now listening to you who has $1,000 course or who has a, $1,500 course or a program, they know it's worth more,
Right.
but they feel like, well, nobody knows me, so why would I charge, more money for it? Like, what would you tell that person?
So I think so to the nobody knows me thing.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be people that don't know you,
Yeah.
right? It's people who like in our world who we see popping. I use Eric Thomas for example.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of circles, he's a big deal.
Right.
But the majority of the world don't even know who he is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But so I don't say don't validate based on like nobody knows me. Think about it this way: most people who buy and they can look at their own data. Most people who buy $1,000 course online never even log in. They never even log in.
Yeah.
So a lot of people ask us why we preach and believe in high ticket, because high ticket equals like high touch, meaning now you got the margins to hire a team, you got the resources, you can go to bat and really help people get results.
Yeah.
So we don't preach high ticket and do high ticket just to make more money.
Yeah.
We do it to create more results, because what you'll find is somebody who pay you 10,000 versus somebody who pay you 1,000, they're gonna be way more committed. They're gonna get results, and you're gonna get way more success stories. That's how our success stories went through the roof. Cause we started off doing like a $9.97 per month membership. Yeah. We did the $97 products, $297 products, $1,000 products. But it wasn't until we started stepping it up that we started getting people who came in the game ready to rock. So I always tell people, like, I don't think either model is wrong.
Yeah.
So some people say, Marquel, if I want to get to $1 million, can I just sell a X amount of these for 1,000?
Yeah.
Or should I do X amount for 10,000? Well, I say X amount for 10,000 if your goal is results for your clients.
Right.
If it's just to get the $1 million, you can do it however you want to do it. But we do how we do it, and we teach how we teach, because the number one goal is client success.
Yeah.
And the way you get that, people pay attention to what they pay for.
Yeah.
And if you got enough skin in the game, you're gonna show up and make this thing happen.
Yeah, I love that. And the truth of the matter is, it's similar to like, Planet Fitness. I remember, I think I had 2 Planet Fitness memberships going consecutively that I never canceled, because I was just like, it was $10.
Only $10.
So I'm like, it's only $10. So I was never committed to go to the gym.
Exactly.
But then when I went to LA, let's bleep that out. No, I'm just playing. Because I would say they ain't sponsoring. But no, when I went to LA Fitness, right? And I hired a trainer, I promise you, when they was taking that $500 a month, I was like, yo, I'm there every single day. I got the results. I got to brag, about my, my trainer. Fat shout out to Ty. And so I think that that's one of the reasons that, or why I love what you're saying, because, a lot of people feel like, I'm gonna discount it, or I'm gonna put this at, at a smaller price. And then they're attracting customers who are discounting their effort. So what you said, right?
100%.
I'm discounting my product. Now they're gonna discount the effort because they ain't paid for it. And then now you don't have any success stories, and so nobody to brag about your products or services to attract more people. So talk to me about that. Talk to me about the importance of other people talking ish about your stuff.
For sure, it's everything. So like we thrive off client success. So I was sending out a text this morning like, hey, look, we're about to launch some more ads. Shoot us a testimonial video. Shoot us a testimonial video, because like Jay-Z said it best, man. Jay-Z said it plain, the philosopher, the great philosopher. He said, look, if we say you broke, if everybody's broke except for you. So you determine success by who's winning around you. If you the only one winning, yeah, you got the car, yeah, you got the house, yeah, you got this, yeah, you flashing all that, that's great. Yeah. But how many other people are winning as a result of you? That's the ultimate flex. How many other people you got winning?
Wow.
You feel me?
Wow. And so now, $250 million, right? Yo, what Kel said, did you ever think that you would be this rich? Right? like, did you ever feel like, yo, $250 million? I've helped people make $250 million in sales. How does that feel, first and foremost? But as someone who was in the streets, someone who did time, how does that feel, bro?
I mean, it's surreal, bro. Every day I still be like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, people because when I came into this whole world, I'm like, man, I see it, but it's like who gonna listen to me? Right. Like, I'm a cat with tats all over me, goals, from the streets, and everybody, it was white dominated. My space was white dominated. Like, I'm like, who gonna listen to me? So I ain't even know, but I was like, let me just give it a shot. So now I had a client, she was telling me yesterday, she just started her business 10 months ago. She did 6 figures over the past 10 months.
Nice.
She was a music teacher prior to that. She got a team, the whole 9 yards. So just hearing the stories, you know, that, because initially it's about money. Or some people, initially, for me, I ain't gonna lie, when I started my business, it was about getting to the money.
Right.
But then as you evolve, you like, you know, the money is cool, but it's really about hearing those success stories, hearing how those families have changed. Because if I can help somebody start or grow their business to 6 or 7 figures or whatever, that changes their whole family forever. Not just their immediate family, but generations and generations and generations to come. You feel me?
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And so, you know, speaking of ads, you know, I know a lot of people are afraid, right, to put money in ads because they don't know if it's gonna work. And so somebody right now, you know, has some extra money lying around and starting their business. They say, you know what, I wanna take a shot at, you know, at ads. What is the first thing you'll tell that person to do?
I think the first thing is like to look at ads as an investor, because a lot of people look at ads like it's the casino, but look at ads as an investor. Let me give you an example. So I was reading something one day, and it was like the top investors, the Buffetts and the Dalios, typically average about 12% or so per year. Obviously, they're playing with bigger paper. But with ads, you can make 100, 200, 300, 400% every 30 days. You feel me? So I believe that if you're gonna that's why I got a lot of people in real estate and things of that nature, and they be like, hey bro, you should get real. And I'm like, I get it, bro. But it's like, I dropped 60 on a property, and then, you know, get 6 to 12% or whatever per year. I'm like, man, you could drop that in ads and make 400, 500x. But I get it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I gotta work on my mindset with
Absolutely,
the real estate. You see what I'm saying?
right.
I gotta work on my mindset with that. But it's like, you put your money in, so here's the first thing, that money sitting in the bank ain't gonna do nothing but like disintegrate anyway. So you might as well get it active. And here's the cool thing. Let's say your ads didn't make a 400% return this month. Let's say you invested 1,000 and you made 1,250 this month, for example. Where else can you go put your money? And in 30 days, you put 1,000 and make 1,250.
Make 25%. Right.
You feel me? Where? You can't.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I think the first thing is to look at it from a mentality standpoint and look at it as an investing thing, and it's a long-term play, not just like you finna go to casino and you can hit some slots, right? So that's number one. Number two is a skill set. Of course, you can figure it out. You can go do it on your own. You can go in there and click around. You know, on the surface level, launching an ad is pretty simple, but it's the strategy that most people miss. So I think the second thing you got to do once you get around the mentality is like find somebody who's done it, right? Don't go out here and just try to learn it on YouTube. I mean, you can, but if you value your time, find somebody who's done it. Find somebody who's legit spending their own money on ads, not just teaching how to do ads, because it's two completely different things. And then invest in them to guide you through the process and understand it's a long-term game. And once you understand how to put $1 into advertising and get a ROI, whether you get $1.50 for every dollar you put in, I mean, you never have to worry about money again because you can literally write your own check.
Right. Wow. I love that. Hey, it's Ash Cash. Are you new to entrepreneurship and struggling with having to figure out everything by yourself? I want to tell you about the #1 entrepreneurship community in the country. Sometimes just being in the right environment can make all of the difference in the world for your mindset, your work ethic, and your results. This entrepreneurship community is called the Morning Meetup, and it's led by my guy, David Shands, who is an amazing entrepreneur. So, the Morning Meetup is a group of entrepreneurs who meet every single morning to make sure that they're getting 3 things right: information, activity, and environment. There are so many brilliant and ambitious people who simply need access to the right information to really start moving forward in the right direction. Every single morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, Dave, along with other successful business owners from all different backgrounds, meet with new entrepreneurs to shed light on things like investing, content creation, monetizing, automation, mindset, business strategy, and so much more. To stay sharp and grow as a group, they select a book, then read a chapter each day, briefly discuss their takeaways from that chapter as a part of the daily meetup. The best part is that this community is really big on not solely just getting the right information, but making sure that everyone in the group is doing the right activities to stay on track towards their goal. Dave has done a tremendous job of creating and fostering a truly unique environment for entrepreneurs to receive high-level mentorship and accountability. To get a week access pass for just $1, head over to themorningmeetup.com/vault. You'll be able to join the community and get access to daily coaching, participate in the morning question and answer sessions to get all of your questions answered, and meet hundreds of driven entrepreneurs. So go ahead, go to themorningmeetup.com/vault. It's only $1 to start, and I promise you, you will see value immediately. All right, tell them Ash Cash sent you. And so, you know, what's next, right? And so you have Client Attraction University. Talk to us about Client Attraction University, and then what's next for Marquel Russell?
Right, so Client Attraction University is basically, it's what I wish I had when I came into this whole coaching, consulting, service-based business. So we mainly service coaches, consultants, service providers who want more clients. They want more clients, and they either are in the earlier phases looking to get to 6 figures, so they got a business, they got some clients, or they want to get some clients, but mainly it's just hustle and grind 24/7, 365. They don't really got a continuous flow coming in. So we help them take control over their client flow, so now they can actually scale the business without having to worry about where the next leads and clients are going to come from. So we walk them through that whole process step by step by step. And it's not just some videos where you go log in and figure it out on your own. It's like myself, my team, we're like walking you through the whole process step by step by step, so you can't get it wrong. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how we do it. And a lot of times, the biggest challenge I see people have is like, well, Marquel, what if, and this kind of goes back to the question you asked earlier, since I'm newer to the space, should I start charging lower first and then go high ticket?
Yeah.
And then this is the best analogy I heard this other day. So think about this. If, let's say, Kia, the car company,
Yes.
came into the space and they start, let's say they got $15,000 cars.
Yeah.
People jumping on them.
Yeah.
And then let's say Kia all of a sudden want to come out with a car, $350,000.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna buy the Kia.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if Rolls Royce,
Yes.
they got a $250,000 car,
Yeah.
they came into the market like that.
Yeah.
And then let's say they want to roll out a $20,000 car.
Yeah. You're gonna sell hella $20,000 cars.
You feel me?
Right.
It's the same. We saw Tesla do it. Tesla came in high end.
Yeah.
It was like, let's roll out lower market. And then I also, Vera Wang did the same thing. Vera Wang came in the market doing like $20,000, $30,000 wedding dresses.
Yes.
Popping. And then they rolled into Target. You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna go lower end, start high ticket, and then start splintering
No,
off.
that has to be the best analogy I've ever heard in my life. That describes that, because, right, if you start discounted, who's gonna wanna pay more later? Like what changed
Right.
in which you can now justify the increase in price?
Exactly.
So why not start off with that price?
Yeah. You're the cheap guys. Like, you're the cheap. Like, why would we pay you that?
Right,
When you, like, what's the difference?
right,
So 100%.
right.
100%.
right.
Now, in terms of what's next, man, I mean, we're really just getting warmed up, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we really, literally just getting warmed up. We just scratching the surface. Most people watching this right now is like, who is this dude, Marquel Russell?
Yes.
What is Client Attraction University, bro? So we just literally just getting warmed up. We're gonna scale this thing big, multi-billion dollars in client success.
Yes.
And of course, one of the quotes I heard from Zig Ziglar early on talking about personal development, if you help enough people get what they want, you automatically get what you want. So we're just building it up, building the asset, right? And then, of course, gonna take that and start building up some passive, assets as well, where I learned from brothers like yourself and my guy Julian. Shout out to my guy Julian.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And just building this thing up, having a lot of fun, traveling the world. And people say, what about retirement? When you gonna retire? Like, bro, I'm never gonna retire.
Right.
Never.
Right. As long as you got breath in your body, you serve a purpose, you know? Yeah, and I love it though too, because even how you attract clients, right? Like you in DMs, you in LinkedIn messages, you like everything, you know what I mean? And so I love that. And so, when you think about where you are today, $250 million dollars in revenue for your clients. You're on your way to multi-billion dollars in client revenue, for your clients. Have made, significant money personally for yourself. Going back to that 19-year-old birthday, right? So, got locked up
Right.
on your 19th birthday, had a child on your 19th birthday, right around that time, right? Or I'll even take it a year before that. Let's say 18, right? What advice today, Marquel, is giving to that 18-year-old self?
I would say books are the cheat code. Books are the cheat code. I even tell my kids, like, books are the cheat code. Man, think about it, man. You can read about somebody who's built a multi-million-dollar or a multi-billion-dollar company or successful family or whatever your goal is. Let's say, for example, I'm gonna give you like a perfect example. I just finished, a couple months ago, I finished reading a book by Bob Iger. He's the guy who used to run Disney. Right, I can buy this book for $20.
Yes.
Like, that's the cheat code.
yeah,
You feel me?
yeah.
I can go tap into all this wisdom for $20 and I can put it on my audiobook
Right.
and listen to it in a few hours.
Right.
Dude, I've just hacked 34. This is the guy who did the Pixar deal with Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
This is the guy who did the Disney Plus situation, who launched Disney Plus. And you can hack into his thinking, the way he operates and how he make plays. You know what I'm saying? Like the Disney people was like, don't do the deal with Steve Jobs. Like, don't do it.
Right.
We good.
Right.
And he was like, y'all tripping.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can tap into that for $20, $15, $10, or you can try it, because you're not gonna live long enough to learn everything on your own.
Absolutely.
So if you can $20 here, $15 here, and you really take it and you're like, okay, what can I implement from this? What can I implement from this? And you start compounding those nuggets, I mean, that's the cheat code, bro. Books.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. And so, what's the best financial advice that you've learned, you've gotten so far?
The best financial advice I've gotten so far, pay yourself first. Pay yourself first and invest into yourself, man. It's a lot of different investment vehicles out there, right?
Yeah.
But the investment into yourself, that's something that's just gonna pay you in perpetuity, man, even when you're not here no more. So invest into yourself.
No, I love it. I love it. And then now, making, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month and, getting to that level of abundance monetarily. What would you say is the most extravagant thing that you spent money on?
The most extravagant thing, man. I would probably say, because I ain't like super flashy or nothing, right? So, and I still, like I said, I'm still kind of like I'm still like adapting to this new world. So I just moved, because like some cats be like, hey man, why you don't flash enough online, man? Why you don't do this? I'm like, bro, I just like, I'm cool. I just come from a different world.
No, I was gonna say, and not to cut you off though, it's so funny, right? Because being a financial educator, I'm in the space where, I mastermind with other financial educators, and they always like, oh yeah, I had a 6-figure month, and they're saying this publicly.
Right.
I'm from the streets too.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, that's how you attract the wolves. So
Yeah, that's exactly how you attract the wolves.
I be nervous. I be like, yo, y'all bugging. They be telling me to talk about I'm like, no.
Right.
I do not want to attract the wolves. So I understand, right? I understand. It's a new world
Sure.
But talk, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, for sure. That's a great point, bro. That's why I don't do screenshots.
Right.
I ain't showing the merch account.
Yo.
I don't got nothing to prove.
Right,
Like, all
right.
you need to see is our clients winning.
facts.
What we made last month ain't important.
Big facts.
You know what I'm
Big
saying?
facts,
But
yeah.
I would probably say the biggest thing for us is like travel.
Yeah.
I love traveling.
Yes.
Like, I didn't fly in an airplane until I was 25 years old. Like, and then even then I had to share a room with somebody. This when I was doing network marketing. But like traveling, I like taking, like every quarter we do some type of vacation, me and the family. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
So, and I got a big family, right? So when we fly, it's like 8 of us.
Yeah.
That ain't really cheap. Relatively speaking, right? But I think the biggest thing is like travel. We just got back from, we did like a week in Cancun for Christmas. So the biggest thing for us is like travel. We go heavy on travel because those are experiences, man. Like, watches and stuff like that. I like watches, I like cars, but I think travel is the biggest thing because like I get to show, my kids like the world. And like, it's bigger than just Atlanta. It's bigger than just the South Side. It's bigger than just the United States.
Right.
It's so much world. So you just got a limited perspective if you never travel. So I got a 16-month-old. He already got like 2 passport stamps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think that's the biggest thing for me.
No, I love it. I love it. And so what would you say is the most impactful thing you've done with money so far?
The most impactful thing, just being able to cut a check, bro. So it's like, even with like my church, just being able to be like, look, here. I got this big shouts out to Next Level Boys Academy. My guy Gary Davis. So Gary has this program. I always talk like, bro, he's doing like a lot of people talk about doing the work for our youth, but my guy Gary really doing the work. He has helped these young brothers save literally thousands of years in prison. You know what I'm saying? Because he has a program called Next Level Boys Academy. He goes in there and vouches for them, and they can come to his diversion program versus going to do 10, 15, 20 years.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? He just had a young brother who was facing 300 years. Yeah, but because he was going through the diversion program, the court was like, all right, look, we're not gonna send you away.
Wow, 300?
300.
Wow.
We thought it was 100, but after we did all the math, it was like 300. And everybody else, his all co-defendants, they all went. You feel me? So, but that's what he helping them save millions of bond money, all that. You know what I'm saying? So like he doing great work. So just being able to say, hey, look, bro, he don't ask for nothing because he just loved doing the work. No grants, none of that. So for me to be able to like, look, here, bro. You don't need to shout me out. I don't need nothing. Boom. And then we also do an entrepreneurship program inside of that program, teaching these young kings about entrepreneurship and so forth. So just being able to write a check when we need to, being able to be a giver, not a borrower, you know what I'm saying, whenever we can.
No, I love that. I love that. And so dispel a money myth for me. So, you know, money doesn't grow on trees or got to work hard for money. But what's a money myth that's out there that you want to dispel?
For sure. So those are some good ones that you said. I ain't going to even go there. I'm going to give another one. And when I say this, people always look at me crazy. It's easier to make a lot of money in a little bit of time than it is to make a little bit of money in a lot of time. So it's easy, I'm gonna say it again for everybody listening. It's easier to make a lot of money in a little bit of time than it is to make a little bit of money in a lot of time. Let me break it down. It's easier to make $30,000 in a month than it is to make $30,000 in a year. It's easier to make $30,000 in a month than it is to make $30,000 in a year. It's also easier to make $30,000 in a week than it is to make $30,000 in a month. It's easier to make $30,000 in a week than it is to make $30,000 in a month. It's also easier to make $30,000 in a day than it is to make $30,000 in a week. It's easier to make $30,000 in a day than it is to make $30,000 in a week. And it's also easier to make $30,000 in an hour than it is to make $30,000 in a day.
I'm getting goosebumps when you just said that, right? Because I don't even think y'all caught what he just did right there. Like that's like you just reshaped a mind right there.
And I can break the math down if you want me to make it if you want me to make it make sense. So think about it. So for somebody in America, let's say they want to make $30,000 in a year. They typically got to work 40 hours a week. On average, for 52 weeks a year. So if we do 52 times 40, that's about what, 2,000 and some hours. They make 30,000. Let's say you got some knowledge and expertise, you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're a service provider, and let's just say you got a package that you sell for 5,000. You only got to sell 6 of those to make $30,000 this month. Let's say your close rate when you talk to somebody is 10%. You can't really sell, you're super uncomfortable selling, so 10% of the people you talk to buy. 10%. For you to make 6 sales, you only got to talk to 60 people. 60 people divided by 4, that's 15 people a week. 15 people a week divided by 5, that's 3 people a day, right? So you talk to 60 people, 60, let's say an hour. Let's say you talk to each person an hour. You've worked 60 hours for the month. 60 hours for the month. Most people work 40 hours a week. You work 60 hours for the month, bro. And made 30,000. Versus the 2,000 hours a year.
yo, listen. So y'all know where y'all heard this first. If you got any of my products and services, I'm about to quadruple. I'm almost serious though. I'm going to quadruple my prices ASAP.
100%.
Because I promise you had me in a trance. Like as you were saying that, you had me in a trance, and I was like, yo, he's right. Like it's easier. Like it's easier to make $30,000 in an hour. Yo, the price just went up. What Mahomes say? Yo, you hear that? That's the sound of the price just went up. You know when you heard it first, Marquel Russell.
Absolutely.
Yo, talk to me about mentorship, man. How important is mentorship?
Bro, it's everything, man. If you look at the most successful people in the world, everybody has a mentor, man. Like everybody. If It's this book I read called what's the name of it? The Road Less Stupid. It's about a brother, Keith Cunningham. You know Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He talks about his rich dad. Keith Cunningham is Rich Dad. Dude talks about the dumb tax. He was like, in business, doing it on your own is the stupidest thing you could possibly do. Especially when there are so many other people that have done it already. Why when you find somebody who's not just done it, but they've really done it, and they helped other people do it, you find them, plug into them, and now they can kind of get you through the process way faster. Like going out here trying to figure out how to do this stuff on your own, it's just too hard. It don't make sense. Trying to figure out how to lose weight on your own, it don't make sense. Trying to grow a 7-figure business, you've never built a 7-figure business, it doesn't make sense. Trying to learn how to manage money on your own and you're terrible with managing money, it don't make sense. It like trying to have a successful marriage and you've never been married before, or you don't even know nobody who's been married, it don't make sense. We just hired a marriage coach. I'm married, right? I've never been married before. None of my people when I was growing up weren't married.
Right.
We didn't grow up, that wasn't the norm.
Right.
So I'm like, I hire business coaches, I hire fitness coaches. Why wouldn't I have a marriage coach? Why wouldn't I plug into people who raised successful kids? Like you plug into that, you ask questions, and you learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, I love it. Nah, powerful, man. Nothing but bars. And so right now, going through, pandemic, people are trying to figure things out. There's somebody with a 9-to-5 that's like, man, I don't know what to do, where to start. They know they want to, have multiple streams of income. They want to start a business. What advice would you have for the side hustler out there?
So this probably gonna make a lot of people mad. So I want to say this from the beginning, bro.
Respectfully,
right? You know what I'm saying? But I think a big mistake people make is trying to have multiple streams of income. Let me explain. Right? Let me explain. Cause I know how people are feeling. Right?
They gonna come for you, baby.
I already know.
Yeah.
So I want to be clear.
Yeah.
So I tell people multiple streams of income is a tool of the rich, not a tool to get rich.
Ooh, that's a bar.
It's a tool of the rich, not a tool to get rich. If you just trying to start a business, you trying to start multiple businesses at one time and work your 9-to-5 is a huge mistake. Because it takes enough effort to get one business out of velocity. It's like taking off in an airplane. That's when your most energy gonna take off. Once you get that thing at 30,000 feet in the air or whatever, and that thing coasting on its own, then you can consider adding something else. I tell all my clients, look, until you get to $1 million a year, don't ask me about no more ideas. I don't want to discuss no more. I got this idea. What about? Are you at $1 million yet? No, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear it. So I say pick one, because like most people say they got multiple streams, but they actually just got like little ponds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real. This is a pond. Like a stream flows. You get like little ponds, you know, like little muddy ponds. Like it's costing you more money than it's making you. So pick one thing, get focused, get that thing to a meal, or get that thing to the point where you want it to be, where it's running. And then if you want to add something else, great. Or if you got one business, because a lot of people think you got to go wide instead of going deep. Let's say let's say you got a coaching business, for example, or let's say you're an author. That's a stream of income. That's a book. Let's say you got a coaching program that teaches what's in the book. You ain't really creating nothing else. It's still in alignment with the book. Let's say you speak also, but you speak on what's in the book. That's another stream. You see what I'm saying? So that's 3 streams, but you're going deep. And you're not deviating, you're all over the place. So I think the biggest thing for the side hustle is like, pick your one thing. Like, what's the problem you gonna solve? What's the problem you're committed to solving? I tell my kids, like, don't ask me for no money. Ask me, what problem can I solve? Look around the house. What problem here can you solve? And I pay you to solve the problem. But I don't give my kids allowance. I don't just like, hey, just because it's Friday and you're a Russell, you get a check. No. I think we set them up for failure when we do that, man.
I love
because
that.
it's entitlement. Like in the real world, where they do that at? Nowhere. So it's like, what problem do you solve? So for the side hustles, ask yourself, what's the problem that I want to solve? And then I'm gonna solve that better than anyone else. And just get a master at solving that problem. Our problem was client attraction. We help you fix that piece. And then once we help you fix that piece, then we help you grow it to the multiple 7, 8-figure mark. But we gotta fix this piece first.
Yeah.
You say I'm be online talking a lot about like, you know, how to grow teams and operations and I don't really talk a lot about that type of stuff because a lot of people think they need that. Well, the first thing we gotta do is fix your business.
Right.
Once you fix it, because what gets you to 6 figures ain't gonna get you to 7.
Right.
And then what gets you to 7 ain't gonna get you to multiple 7 and 8. So it's like, let's fix this piece first, now that's running, and then we can get into the other stuff. So I think that for the biggest thing, just to say it one last time, get focused,
Yes.
pick one thing.
Yes.
What's gonna be your problem when they say your name, so like for example, when they say I'm gonna give you an example, When they say your name, they're like, okay, this person helps with this.
Yeah.
For example, how we connected, my brother DM'd me and was like, my man Ash Cash referred me to you. And we hadn't even never chatted till now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But apparently, like, you see what we doing, you was like, when brother said he had a problem, you was like, you need to go see Marquel, he can help you solve that problem.
Absolutely.
That's how you want to be when somebody got a problem, they like, okay, you need to go see such and such, they can help you solve that. Because they know you specialize in that.
And it's funny, I love what you said because that's exactly true, right? Like even though, you know, I'm a financial educator and people come to me, honestly, I make the most money and people come to me mostly for self-publishing a book, right? Because I've written 8 books, I've sold thousands, I've sold a lot of books as a self-published author, and people know I get busy. And so people are always like, yo, bro, I need you to help me. People will hire me, right, to help them self-publish their book, to make, like, fast shout to Julian Gordon.
Yeah, that's my guy.
He hired me to help him with his book. Pre-launch, before he even launched the book.
I got me a few copies on there.
He made $30,000. And I, you know, we chatting that, you know what I'm saying? And so you're right, because when you focus on that one thing, and then you create multiple streams through that, that's definitely gonna help you. And I love what you said, right? And I wanna circle back to something you said. You said that you don't give your kids allowance, right? And I'm actually gonna, hey, Taylor, you're done, right? Thank Mr. Russell, right?
My bad, Taylor.
You know what I'm saying? You're done. That's it. It's over, right? But you said, yo, what problem are you solving? And I love that. And so that made me think, right? The average family loses wealth by the 3rd generation, right? And that's not even color-based. So Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, across the board, the average family loses wealth by the 3rd generation, and that's because by generation 3, it's that entitlement thing, right? But specifically in the Black community, when you think about how our money flows, right? Our money flow is actually flowing up, right? Where we're the 1st generation millionaires, we're the 1st generation, you know, homeowners or whatever, and then now we take care of our parents, we take care of, you know, the money's flowing up instead of flowing down. Without giving your kids allowance or whatever, who would you say is the beneficiary? Like when you think about, you know, the hard work that you're putting in and building, you know, this multi-billion-dollar business, right? Who's your beneficiary?
So my goal is this, right? So from let's talk like trust and family legacy and all that, because I like cats like the Rockefellers and like how did they do this, right? So I think more important than leaving the kids money is like leaving them like philosophies, ways of thinking, that stuff. Because that way, regardless of what happens with the money, you can always get it back. You know what I'm saying? So like, for example, I'm just give an example that I was talking about the other day at our event. Is like, we'll have the trust set up, and most people they're like, all right, well, I'm gonna be a trust fund, baby. I know I'm gonna get access to XYZ when my parents gone. Well, no. You only gonna get access to it by meeting certain stipulations.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's how we continue to replenish it. Because if we ain't replenishing it, it ain't gonna get 10, 20, 30, 40 generations, 100 generations, 200 generations. If you don't understand, the way to make money is by solving the problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do you embed those philosophies? How do you embed that thinking? So for example, with my kids, I got them on this thing, like they rotate their chores. And I'm like, look, Sunday you get paid. If I gotta remind you to do it, you don't get paid. If you have to do it, you don't get paid. And it was like, well, we don't just get paid some of the money? No, because I don't want you to look at this as your job. I want you to look at this as your business. If you got a business and you don't do all the job, you don't get paid. Yeah, if you got a job, you go work a few hours, you get paid for them hours, but that ain't what we doing. I'm paying you to solve a problem. And your problem is these specific chores.
Yes.
The kitchen.
Yes.
The problem I don't got to worry about. The bathroom.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yes.
But you solve that problem. At the end of the week, I pay you for solving that particular problem. That's what I'm paying you for, the result.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting them out of the time-based economy and the results-based economy. The time-based economy is like, you work an hour, you get paid, you work an hour, you get paid, you work an hour, you get paid. Results-based economy, you get paid based on a specific result.
Yes.
So I'm paying y'all based on the result.
Ooh.
If you don't do that, you don't get paid.
Parents, y'all better be listening. These are big bars. Like, look, the Exantis household has just been shifting. You know what I'm saying? Forever.
So that way you empowered, man. Because let's say I don't leave nothing.
Yes.
You still know how to go get
Absolutely.
it. And you can survive out here. That's the number one thing. Survive. You can survive and thrive. I think that's critical.
Oh, I love it. Oh man, yo, bro, big bars you dropping. But here's what I want to know, right? Cause you're a street cat, right? And now we're talking multiple $1 billion in business.
For sure.
What advice? So first of all, this is a two-part question. Is how did your street hustle, right? What you learned in the street, translate to what you're doing now? And then what advice would you give to the street cat right now that's watching this, that's like, yo, I'm in the streets. I mean, we know nobody really wants to be in the street, right?
For sure.
And so, number one, how did what you learned in the streets translate to what you're doing now? And then number two, what advice would you give to that street cat who's like, who got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but you know, they in it because they gotta be, but they looking for a way out.
For sure. So this is one that's near and dear to me, right? Because like my bros who I was in the street with, the ones who were still alive are not in prison are still in the streets. But these still my bros. Like we was together the other night, my boy birthday party, the whole nine, right? So I would say first question is how did it translate? Everything translated, which is crazy, right? So like, for example, I tell, even when I'm talking to like the youth and the bangers and the whole nine, I'm like, look, if you can sell drugs, you can build a multi-billion dollar business. And I said, let me break it down. I know it's easy for me to say, but let me break it down. If you can sell drugs successfully, you understand sales. Sales skill. You understand branding, right? For example, in the hood, you know who got the good. It may cost you a little more. And you know who got, you can get it for a little less, but it ain't gonna be that. You might just go get that on Friday, but you gonna go see bro just to kind of get, you know, through. That's branding. You feel me?
Right.
Marketing, you know how to get word out and attract people to you. So this may be the dude on the block passing out samples. And we're gonna give y'all some samples. I know what it is. Woo, 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 woo. You know, come see me. That's marketing. Just like online. It's free. I did a video one time called the drug dealer method. It's like you give away free content, and now people want to see what you got they can pay for.
Right.
That's the street game. You feel me? So that's marketing. If you you ain't like a flunky and folks like here running you around and all that, and you kind of doing your own thing and you know marking your own trails, you understand leadership. Because you gotta understand leadership. If not, you're gonna be fooled in the streets. You feel me? You fooled off the rip. And it's the same thing in the business world. If you don't got no leadership, you don't got no backbone, you fooled.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So leadership, critical thinking. You gotta be able to critical think and you gotta be able to move. Like you gotta be quick on your feet. Because like in the streets, everything is happening so fast. And there's so much around you happening at one time. And there's so many people around you and you don't really know who to trust. Even your closest homies or your closest lady, you don't know. So you always gotta be on the swivel. Same thing in business. Things are changing. Like Facebook and Apple did this thing. You know, things are changing. So you always gotta have your head on the swivel. Critical thinking. And you gotta understand metrics. You gotta understand math. You drop it on the scale. So like when I got in the streets, from the first, I got into it from the rap game. And it was like, you gotta have the fattest sacks on the block and all that. So I bought into that. So I'm stuffing the sacks and all that. But I wasn't making no money. It was all transactional. And my big homie was like, bro, why you not making no money? I ain't owe him nothing, but he was like, bro, you just coming back to me with the same re-up. He was like, why you making no money? I'm like, well, look, this is what I got. He was like, let me see. He was like, bro, this is too much. He was like, every bag should weigh something. Like you should break it down. Every bag should weigh something, and that's all on the scale. So if you put 100 in, you should see a 200 bagged up. And this is how you do it. So you understand the math. If you don't understand the math in business, you can't grow a business if you don't know your numbers.
Big bars.
You feel me? So it's literally everything was transactional. I mean, was transformational. And one thing is like, my uncle, Uncle June, rest in peace, Uncle June. my mechanic, the whole nine. You feel me? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But Uncle June used to always say, Marquel, watch out for those wolves in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what he was talking about. He was always telling me, watch out for the wolves in sheep's clothing. That's the same thing in the streets. It's the same thing in business, especially in this internet world.
Yeah.
Like everybody acting like they got it.
Absolutely.
But you start getting to some of these rooms and you realize,
Yeah.
nah, these cats ain't like you ahead of most of these cats you look up to.
Absolutely.
So that was transferable. So I tell them, the homies in the streets, think about it that way, bro. You got a business. Just think about, okay, what other problem you can solve? And I give you this example to bring it full circle. I do this event called Biz Success Made Simple for like young men 11 to 25. And last week we talked about creating a product, right? And I was like, check this out. Let's think about problems you can solve. And I was like, let's say, for example, you're in class and your teacher wants your people to do a paper, but they don't got access to a laptop. How can you solve that problem? If someone was like, well, I can give them a laptop, I can let them use mine. I'm like, well, yeah, that's great. You're a nice person. But how can you solve that problem as an entrepreneur? And they were like, I was like, what about if you rented your laptop to them so they can use it? What if you did the paper for them and they paid you to do the paper? And we rambled on and we came up with like 5 businesses by solving that one problem. So I tell the homies in the street, like, what problem can you solve, bro? I don't care if it's cutting grass, and I broke down how to build a multi-million-dollar lawn care company. Whatever it is, figure out that problem, and you take that skill, you take the hustle, and it's the same thing, it's the same hustle, you just switch the product up.
Wow. And then so right now, you know, the homie that's still banging, the homie that feel like, I don't got no way out. You know, what advice you giving to him?
I say, man, just because you got the skill, you take that skill and you got an unfair advantage in the legitimate business world. Because I'm just gonna be honest with you, a lot of these cats who haven't come through what you come through, a lot of them are like soft compared to like you, because you've like come through the worst.
Right.
You feel me? You done came through maybe the shootouts or the jail time. You survived prison. Like when I got into network marketing and I was like, the worst thing that can happen is somebody tell me no. That's it. I'm finna kill this.
Right.
I'm like, folks around here scared to talk to somebody because somebody gonna say no. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like where I'm from, you gotta carry the strap, you gotta sleep with the strap, you gotta go to the door with the strap. You don't know, you might not come home today. So I'm like, the worst thing y'all telling me, let me be clear. The worst thing you saying somebody tell me no. So I'm like, so you got that. That's an unfair advantage. And when brothers who come from where we come from, like the Jay-Z's of the world, like the Jay Princes of the world, they take that and they come into this business world and they dominate because you got so many intangible skills that you don't even realize you got, and you came through so much, and you already got that skin of a rhino, like my mentor Jerry Clark calls it. You can come in and you can dominate, but you gotta just be willing to grow. Be willing to let go of some of the old ways of thinking and the old way of doing things. And whatever you want, you can have, bro.
No, I love it.
I'm proof of that. I like to be proof of that. Ain't nobody give me nothing. I ain't getting no shout outs. You know, ain't nobody give me no check or none of that. You know what I'm saying? I did it my way. We did it our way. And, you know, we winning.
No, I love it. I love it. Powerful. All right, lightning round. So we're inside the vault. We want to get inside the vault. And so we use bank terms and we, flip them real quick. And so the first term we're gonna talk about is deposit slip. And so, in a bank, when you use a deposit slip, you're putting money, inside the bank. But here inside the vault, deposit slip is a slip up, right? Is a time that you messed up with money. So give me a time, right, that you slipped up with a deposit with money.
I would say when I early on in the game, when I was buying all these courses and stuff like this, I thought that knowledge was power. So the more knowledge I consume, the more money I make. But then I realized that applied knowledge is really where the power is. So I had notebooks tall as me, right? Because I was just consuming that, but I wasn't implementing anything. And I blew through all the savings and everything that I had because I wasn't implementing. So just consuming information and actually not implementing. I think that was my biggest slip up early on.
I love it. And so interest rate, right? So interest rate, is when you borrow money or you lend money, the money that you make off top of that. But for us, interest rate is about the passion, about how interested are you in what you're doing right now. What would you say the level of your interest rate in what you're doing right now is?
On a scale of one to what? Like,
is it passion? Is it paycheck?
I'm obsessed.
Yes.
I'm obsessed. I love entrepreneurship. Like I love it, breathe it. I love reading about entrepreneurs, learning about entrepreneurs, being around dope entrepreneurs. Like, I love this stuff. Like, I'm always thinking, it's hard for me to, I gotta intentionally turn myself off. Like, I could work, if I wanted, I can work 7 days a week, 365, and be straight. But I got a family and a wife and the kids, so you gotta, create some balance. But I absolutely love what I do, and I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it.
I'm an entrepreneur supremacist.
That's it. That's it. I love it. I love it. Last but not least, cancel check, right? And so cancel check is a check that's just gonna bounce. It just, there's no money in there, right? Cancel check. What would you say? What mindset or people did you have to cancel during your journey?
So I think I always tell people, and I was telling the bros the other day on the Next Level Boys Academy, I was like, look, people in your, I was teaching them the 11 habits of millionaire entrepreneurs. And I was like, one of them is they audit their circle and they keep the squares out their circle. So I was like, people are either doing 1 of 4 things. And I was like, I want y'all to audit your circle. People either are adding to you, subtracting, multiplying, or they dividing. So if they're dividing or they subtracting, get them out your circle. They're either an asset or they're a liability. So the people who are not assets, not necessarily got to give me nothing, but they're not like a drain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not like a burden.
Right.
But I'm looking at the circle and like, okay, are they adding or multiplying, or are they dividing or subtracting? And those individuals who divide and subtracting, you gotta let them go.
No, I love it, love it, love it. All right, y'all. I promised y'all a powerful show. Mr. Well, excuse me, I actually misspoke. It's not Mr. Nothing. The king of client attraction, Mr. Marquel Russell, brother.
Hey, man.
Yo, when I tell you this was powerful.
For sure, man.
If people wanted to connect with you, where can they find you?
For sure. So it's real simple. So first off, I come bearing gifts. So I got a gift for everybody who's listening. So basically, like I said, 8 out of 10 businesses go out of business within 18 months simply because they don't know how to consistently get clients. So I created something called the Paid Ad Playbook. And basically, the Paid Ad Playbook shows you how to get clients every single day, how to get 50 to 100 leads every single day coming to you, and how to convert them into clients. So I give you the whole playbook, and I give you some bonus training videos that come along with it as well. So if you go to paid, P-A-I-D, ad, playbook.com, and you can get all that for 100% free. Now, here's what I would say as well. As you're going through it, you will see how you can apply to work with us inside of Client Attraction University. So we don't necessarily work with everybody because we want to only work with people who we can help win. So you can't like go and join, nothing like that. You got to kind of go through a process. But if you decide to apply, it's going to say, who refers you? I want you to put Ash Cash on there and say he referred you. And by you doing that, we're going to give you a scholarship. We're going to give you like a scholarship where you can actually save some money if we see that we can help you. So go to paidadplaybook.com. Get that for 100% free. And I'm on whatever your favorite social media platform is. Instagram, if you go to Instagram, go to Marquel Russell, Marquel Russell. And once you connect with me on there, I want you to shoot me a DM as well. Shoot me a DM and say, hey, I saw you on the Ash Cash podcast. I wanted to connect. I'm a human being. We like to connect with people. And if you're on Facebook or whatever, Marquel Russell on all platforms.
Big bars. Make sure, listen, knowledge, it's applied knowledge, right? So just don't take everything that he just said and just say, oh, this was a great interview. I want you to start, implementing stuff. Make sure you download, his free ebook or the book that he's giving you. Make sure you take advantage of it. You take advantage of all the information. This is another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash. We are closing the vault. We're going to see you next time with more heat, more heat, more heat. In God's will, I am Ash Cash. Peace.